Welcome to today's video. It's all about meal prepping and also how I use things in the house, because I often get asked, what do you do with all that milk, for example, that you can see right now in front of me, because I do buy a lot of milk marked down. And today we are making chocolate milk, and I would just like to preface this by saying I have no actual weight or measurements to what I'm doing. I'm just guesstimating. So basically I got like a 1.5 litre of milk for free, and I decided to make some chocolate milk, and I just squeezed in the chocolate Hershey's syrup that I got from Coles, from one of the grocery hauls, and then I mix everything together, and then it just goes into the fridge. Let me tell you, chocolate milk disappears much quicker than plain milk, so it's totally worth 5 minutes of my time and energy to put it all together, and it's a great way to save money compared with buying it. Next up, I pulled apart a lettuce that I had and just sticking it into a spare Tupperware container I have. So if anyone wants to make themselves a sandwich or anything midweek, then it's there already pulled apart, because I know sensory wise people don't like to touch the whole lettuce head and pull that apart. So yeah, this is also why I do some of the meal planning. And then you saw that I cut up all the celery sticks as well, and then being in a container, I can stick them on the shelf at eye level so people can see it, and then they can grab it, and then that way things will get eaten. So there was a chicken breast also that I had blanched, and then I stick into the mix master and I just blitz it for sort of 5 seconds or so, and it basically creates shredded chicken. And then I put it into Ziploc bags and then mark everything, and it's all ready to go. Here I'm just cutting up some leftover pineapple that I had, and I'm going to stick that again in a Ziploc bag, and we'll label it. I've already weighed out so I know what it's for. Just showing you guys how I would weigh also some of the leftover chicken that I have here, and then I will mark it, and when I throw it in the freezer, then I know that is one of the ingredients I need. If I'm going to be making a pizza, I have enough toppings for one pizza and then pineapple, and that's how I kind of portion control out everything that we need as well. Now we've got some mince that was marked down from Woolworths, and again we're just going to bag it up into Ziploc bags. I like to portion up mince in about 250 gram lots, because most of the dishes I do, either a lasagna or a shepherd's pie, I bulk it out with a lot of veggies. So I find that way I don't need as much meat, and it just helps it stretch a little bit further. Next up is the chicken schnitzels that I get all the time, especially when they're on a markdown. Absolute great value. And here I just thought that I would divide them up with some baking paper into the freezer. I again portion these into lots of 4, and then I know each bag that I grab is 1 meal, because all 4 of us like to have that. So then I will grab the calculator and then divide it into the number that are there, so to work out individually how much each one is. So if my son has one as a single for a burger or something, it works that way. But then also to work out the cost for all 4 of us to have that as a base meal. And I'm really happy with it. Then that way everything's all portioned up, ready to go. Here is my beautiful new freezer. I've got some containers that I need to start organizing. Of course, I haven't done anything with them. But yeah, we're going to be sorting everything out eventually. For now, I'm literally just bringing everything that I come to portion control out into this freezer. So then it's out of the main freezer, because we're sorting that out at the moment. And then we're trying to get a good sort of stockpile in this side freezer, and then the other one will be a working current meal freezer. I'll explain more when we get around to it. Okay, I've got this veggie medley pack marked down. It was like $1.50 or something, absolute bargain. And so I grabbed it because we're going to break it apart, because not everything inside of here is what people eat. So that's going to be worth it for me to break it all apart into each veggie that each people eat. And then again, it's just being thrown into this freezer. So I basically have the bottom drawer for all veggies. And again, I am just dumping everything in here. And then when it comes to actually sorting and organizing everything, I will have more of a plan, because I will also make an inventory list of what is in there. Next we had some chicken that I had gotten, so I'm just meal prepping that. I just happened to film it, and I think that oh, that's right, I was weighing it out too, so I could divide it up, because I think I got just over a kilo, and so I divided it into two so I could have two separate meals. And I was just weighing it all just to make sure we sort of got it all equal. And then we froze half into a Ziploc bag, and then the other half we had for dinner. And cleaning out the fridge, as you see, we always have ham in there, and it was getting closer to its use by date, so I just pulled it all apart and chopped it up ready for pizza toppings. We buy ham nearly every week, so it's nothing just to buy more ham, and then I can always just freeze it if we have any left over. I've been buying pumpkin anytime I've been seeing it in the shops for $1.50 each, because I'm finding that if I can prep it and cut it up, it is making my life so much easier that I can just, as I said, grab it as a bag and then know that's a whole meal. So I've even been cutting it up and freezing it for portions for when we have a roast, and so I can just grab it and go, right, we have pumpkin, we have sweet potato, we have carrots to cook with the roast. It's making life so much easier. And again, we're going to just throw those into the freezer, as well as these couple of veggie bags. Didn't really meal prep much with those, but they will get chucked in as a whole bag if I cook a stew. Just makes life a little bit easier. I'm always buying little things like this on markdown as well. They are a great alternative to chicken nuggets if my son's looking for something different. And because also it says spicy chicken, I can do the whole thing of, oh no, it's spicy, and he'll go, I'll eat it then, because he just likes to try things that apparently are spicy, because I do not like spicy things at all, and he absolutely loves it. Oh, so yeah, it's fun. Here we have some more markdown chicken, and this was actually part of a meal cook video that I was doing, so I've just put it in here for you guys too. So show you, I cut it up. It's about 1.2 kilos, I think. So each container is about 500 grams of chicken, and I got these sauces out because I was going to make a pineapple sweet and sour and a honey mustard. And then we went through our sauce jar thing and we found this Korean spicy sauce, and my son said, yes, let's have spicy. Again, he loves spice. So I said, okay. It wasn't that spicy, but yeah, it's a no from me. And then I found some veggies that were in the freezer, so I just threw those in to help bulk it up. We're quite limited in some of the veggies that we do eat as a family, so at least having some carrots in there and some corn is pretty basic. And I just stuck it into a Tupperware container and it went into the fridge because this was a Sunday and I knew that we would eat it by Tuesday night, and then all the family would have to do is cook rice and then just reheat that. If we hadn't eaten it by Tuesday, I would have thrown it in the freezer. There we've got some sweet and sour chicken that I did manage to cook. I completely forgot about the honey mustard. I grabbed the wrong jar when I was cooking. So yeah, fun times. And yeah, just showing you bits and pieces of the freezer, how we've got some other stuff that's stacked in there, as well as a few other bits and pieces. And yeah, when we go through a freezer tour, I'll show you guys everything that I have and logically how I think it all works. I was just cooking some chicken kebabs there that I would have got again as a markdown, so I learned that I pretty much just cook them all straight away, and then I can always freeze anything that's left over. I bought some bacon that was on clearance, so again I've cut all of that up and thrown it in the freezer. And then I've got a couple of roast chooks that have been marked down, so while they're still warm I pull them apart because it's easiest that way to get all the meat off. And again, I'll stick these all into Ziploc bags, weigh it and label it all, so then it's there ready to grab for whatever meals I need. I always love to find cream on a markdown because this is one of the bases for chicken risotto, so I just put it in a Ziploc bag, very carefully try and squeeze the air out, and then carry it to the freezer on a flat chopping board and then put it in there so it freezes as flat as it can be. I have some roast here that I got marked down, and I am cutting up them so they are in 2 smaller roast pieces, and then all the other pieces I've chopped up so we can have a stew with the meat as well. And then just some more chicken Kiev bites. These are great for me to portion up too, because when summer comes and I want a salad, it's great chicken that I can grab from the freezer, and then I know it's there ready to go. So I won the meat tray from Bingo a couple of weeks ago. There was some bacon in there. I pulled it out for us to have bacon and eggs a little while ago, but the rest of the meat, again, I'm just pulling apart and dividing up so I can throw it straight in the freezer, because I get a little bit of paralysis by analysis having so many options. So if I can just basically divide everything up and then throw it in the freezer and then list it as an inventory thing, when I'm going through what do we have, I can clearly see that we have things there frozen ready to go, and I can menu plan from that. Whereas if I'm standing there looking at a fridge that has fresh ingredients and I need to use a whole lot of stuff, yeah, it just overwhelms me completely. So by throwing it in the freezer, I kind of reduce the, oh, we need to cook this, oh, we need to cook that. It just helps a lot. I have some minced meat here that I would have pulled out of the fridge, so I threw in here some chopped up carrots and some corn. It's what I always throw into a minced dish. Then that way it's the base for a lasagna or a spaghetti bolognese, because yes, we have veggies in ours, because they're the 2 veggies that everybody eats, so it just helps. This way, if I want to turn it into anything else, I can, but this dish, I just threw in a can of crushed tomatoes and then bagged it all up and costed it out, so ready for the freezer, and it's ready for any future meals. Thanks so much for joining with me today. I hope you've enjoyed a little bit of meal prep with me. It's a way we keep frugal, and I will see you next time. Bye.